Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX, and today we are back in Blender. We're going to be going over, I guess, some more construction projects. We've kind of made most of the parts necessary here for building a house. We've got a wood floor, we've got some brick walls, we've got a brick door frame, we've got brick windows. I guess the next thing that we would need would be a roof. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on a couple of those segments. And I'm just going to make those so that they fit over these, so that we have just a little bit more of an accurate, all the parts necessary for building a house. So we'll do a corner piece and some edge pieces, and then we'll just leave it at that. So let's go ahead and let's see here. I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to move it over here, and then we're going to go ahead and grab this one and move it over that way, so that we've just got a one to work on. That's the same size as everything else. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you find these videos useful, or if you have input as to what you'd like to see in one of our next episodes, leave a comment down below, and that'll let me know what to work on next. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get into here, and I'm going to go ahead and just select all of these wood pieces here from the floor, and I'm going to go ahead and delete those. That way we've just got this these pieces of floor that works the same size as everything else there. And I'm going to go ahead and we will what can we do here that's actually going to be correct for both of them? I really don't think there's a whole lot more. So I'm going to go ahead and tab out of there and shift duplicate this one, and we'll do that. Okay, so that we've got two side by side. Let's go ahead and do this one first. It'll just be a little bit easier to get these all the same size. So let's go Control 2 to get the edge, and we're going to grab this and move it up on the Z axis. And let me see here, how much are we going to there we go. There's my up in the upper left hand corner up here is the distance that we're moving this. So let's see here, we're going to go ahead and move, rotate, size, snap, toggle. 1 meter. That'll work. We'll just go ahead and move it up a meter. That's pretty close to right there how we'd want that to be. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll do that on this side as well, and that'll make sure that we get the same distance. And we're going to go ahead and move this up, and that one's going to be a meter as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll make a cut from here to there, and that should, yes, good, that'll get our split on that face the way we want it facing. Okay, so that'll allow us to get a corner and a side piece there, which is really all we need for making any type of roof. I'm going to go ahead and dress this one up a little bit though. So we're going to get let's see here, we're going to go ahead and we'll get into this one here. It'll be easier to work on the flat face first. So we're going to go ahead and we'll add a plane. We're going to make this one, we really only need this 0.2 0.25. That's not too bad. Might even be a little bit too wide, so let's go ahead and scale this one down on the x-axis slightly. There we go, so we get a little bit more of a shingled look. And I'm actually going to bring this one up, and we'll scale this on the y slightly. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. There we go, so that we have something to bury under the next row. So we're going to extrude this one, and we're going to turn off snapping so that we can just get the thickness that we want, and we'll do a shingle. There we go. And I'm going to bring this edge up just slightly, so that's just slightly thicker on one side. We'll nail through this side into the roof, and then this side will be for the outer edge. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and deselect everything. We're going to select this one, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to separate this one by hitting P, and we'll go back out to tab out to the object mode, and then I'm going to drag this one into position, and we'll start using arrays. So go ahead and let's just go ahead and move this into position. So we're going to grab it and we'll move it on the y-axis so that it's in the right position there. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch to the side. There we go. And we'll go ahead and move this up on the z-axis till it's more or less at the right level there. That's just a little bit too high here, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and move it down slightly till it matches the edge there. Good. Alright. And then I'm going to go ahead and rotate this one. Whoop. What have we done there? Okay. Oops. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Let's go ahead and go mesh, and we're going to find vertex add view. No, it is going to be the mesh. We're going to transform it. No, we really want to set origin. Let's go ahead and use the spacebar here. Set origin to geometry. Can't be performed in edit mode. Okay, so spacebar, set origin to geometry. There we go. Okay, that's better. Now we'll go ahead and rotate this one on the x-axis so that it aligns with the roof, and then grab this and move it down on the z-axis. There we go. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and grab this and move it on the x-axis so that we've got, there we go, so that lines up. And now we'll go ahead and use these array modifiers. So we're going to go ahead and we'll make an array. I'm going to drag this off to this side of the screen, or this side of the object. Oops, there we go. Because it wants to duplicate to the right. We're also going to set it to have a constant offset on the x of 0.01. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too high, so let's go 0.005. That's good, that'll allow us to see it at a decent distance. Alright. and we're going to go ahead and we're going to increase the count on these. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to scale this one on the x-axis until it fits nicely there. Okay, good. So, definitely don't need to select all. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try something here. And I'm going to go one more. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do another array. And instead of doing a constant offset on the x-axis, I'm going to set both these to 0. And then we're going to set this on the y to 1. Actually, let's do -1 so that it comes down. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm editing the wrong one here. There we go. We want to scroll down, so we're using this one. Here we go. Constant offset, 0.5? Yeah, actually, I don't think we're going to need that one. So we'll just leave that one. We are going to zero this one out, and we're going to move them forward on the z-axis by 1. Oops. -1 actually, since we're going down. And on the y-axis to -0.75. There we go. So that those overlap nicely there. And then we're also going to set this to have a relative offset on the x-axis of 0.5. Whoop! Oh no, 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 no. That's going to be. We'll set this one to 0. And we'll set this one to 0.5. No, that's a little bit too high. So let's bring this down until it's about right in the middle. There we go. 0.8 meters. Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead. Actually, let's do this to negative. Oops. That's not working either. Okay. We'll go ahead and split this. There we go. -0.08. Okay. Good. And that's got the offset right about where we need it. So we'll go ahead and let's change this just slightly. Let's go to 0.09. Oops, negative 0.09. And see, that's probably close. Let's go -0.085. There we go, and that's right there in the middle where we want it. It looks like the offset down is perhaps a little bit too high. So let's go ahead and change the down offset to, whoops, let's go -0.9. No, -0.5. It's not quite going to do it there. Let's go ahead and see if we can use this one here. That's kind of a little bit better. Let's go ahead and rotate this one on the x-axis slightly so that we've got room in there. There we go. That's just about perfect. Actually, we're going to need to rotate this again slightly. And we're really just tweaking this until these ones fit nicely on top of the next one. Okay, perfect. Now, this being the case, I think we can go ahead and put another modifier on here. Yes, we can. And we're going to go ahead and use the same settings as this one here. So we're going to set constant offset and relative offset. Negative 0.85. Actually, we don't want this one because we don't want to do any x distance. Let's go negative 0.02. And we also want a negative offset on the y-axis of negative 0.75. Good. We want to eliminate that offset, and we want to have a constant z offset. How's that being done here? Oh, okay. No, we want this to come down slightly. Let's do -1. No, that's not quite enough, so let's do negative 0.5. There we go. That looks almost perfect. Okay. Good. And we're going to go ahead and increase the count on these. Very good. Very good. That worked literally almost perfectly. Okay, so that means we've gone ahead and gotten all of the shingles that we need for this. I'm going to go ahead and we'll get into here, and actually we can go ahead and we need to apply all of these. So we're going to go ahead and start at the top and apply that, and then apply that and apply that. So all of these now are duplicated correctly, and we've got shingles across the entirety. What's going on here? Oh, we've gone ahead and gone too fast because I wasn't checking my math here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to look down here, because as you can see our offset is just a little bit too high there. So we're going to go ahead and set this one to 0.4. Nope, that's too high. Oops, negative 0.4. There we go. And that, even that's just a little bit too low. So let's go negative 0.35. And I'd say that's about perfect right there. That gives us everything hitting just about the same all the way along. So we're going to leave that one right there. And now we've got it lined up properly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we'll apply each of these. There, okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and get into here, and since these edges are all lined up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to individual origins. I'm going to go Control 3 so that we're using the face select, and then I'm going to go ahead and select all of these edge pieces that are too far out, and then I'm going to scale these on the X to 0. And I'm going to set this one actually to active element. There we go. And now we'll scale this one on X to 0. And all of those will now line up quite nicely along there. And then we'll do the same for this one here, and select all of these edges that are sticking out too far. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. We're going to go ahead and just island select each of these ones that are sticking out and delete them. There we go. Oh, 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 oh. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. Oh, there we go. That's the problem. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead then and we'll select these ones. There we go, and this one last, and scale X to 0. There we go, and those all line up nicely along there now. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to test this, and actually we're going to go ahead and, yep, we'll just test this. We'll add an array modifier, and we'll just test, and it looks like those line up very nicely there. You can't see the seam. Oops. There we go, and okay. So this little bit here, those are all overlapping a little bit too much there, so that you've got wide shingles, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into each of these. Oops. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll use the face select. There we go, right there. And I'm going to go ahead and select these wide shingles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to go ahead and grab these and move them on the x-axis just slightly, like so. And we'll tab out of there, and there we go. Now we've got a perfectly tiled roof section, and we'll go ahead and just delete that there. That's always useful to make an array when you're making a tiled section there, just to confirm that everything tiles nicely. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to set origin to geometry again, so that it's just in the center. Very good. And then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one, move it on the x-axis over to here. Perfect. And then I'm also going to Shift D to duplicate and rotate on the z-axis 90 degrees. There we go. So that those are intersected there, or in the same rotation. I'm going to go ahead then and we'll grab this one and move it on the x-axis slightly so that it lines up nicely here. And on the y-axis, grab y. We'll make sure all of these line up pretty nicely. Go ahead and grab this one. Okay. There we go. Go ahead and deselect everything there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these and we're going to add that Boolean modifier there. And we're going to do... Which one's got that? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to name this one. Which have we got? There we go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to name this one. Rename, and we'll do corner roof 1. And we'll do the same with this one. Corner roof 2. Alright, and we're going to use this one and we're going to do corner roof 1. And we're going to use... That's going to preview, so we don't want that. How about a union? I think that'll probably do about what we want it to. Maybe not quite. Let's do difference. There we go. We'll do that one. Yep. Okay. And that should get the result that we want there. We may actually have to do one here as well. Boolean and do corner roof 2, and ooh, even that's not quite getting us the effect that we want there. No, that's not either. Union. Whew. No, 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 no. We don't want to do that. Okay, difference. Nah, that's not going to do it either. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one then. And we're going to apply this one. And then we'll go ahead and get into this one, tab, and actually, I really shouldn't have done that. Let's tab out of here. And we'll go backwards there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this one temporarily because this one's a little bit more complicated than just deleting the ones that we don't want. So I'm going to go through and we'll just island select all the ones that are overlapping. And get rid of all of these. Okay, and we'll go ahead and delete those. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll check these ones as well. So we'll tab out and go to here, and we'll select all the ones that we don't need in this one as well. Well, that's useful. You can hold down L there we go, and we'll go ahead and delete those. Okay, so now we start getting into the tricky part. So we've got each of these, and on a real roof you'd then have some corner shingles that are going to overlap on these. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll see if we can delete these. So, and we'll go ahead and pick this one, that one, and we'll just go along the edge here and delete these tiles. And we'll see how that works. That's close. Let's go ahead and delete all these ones that are sticking out now as well. That one and that one. There we go. And then let's delete that one as well. Does that work? Not quite. We'll leave that one for right now. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and get in here and do the same. Let's not do that one. There we go. We'll go ahead and delete them. And see how's this working. Not quite so well. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to have to take these ones out as well then. And see, that one's getting a little bit closer. I'm going to go ahead and we'll get rid of these as well. Okay, so we've got some bare patches there where the roof shows through. That's okay, because we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some corner pieces along here. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll add a mesh. That's probably a good size. No. Yes, no, we'll just leave that right there. Okay, we'll go ahead and get into here, and we're going to extrude this up slightly so that we've got about the thickness of a roof tile. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to select this edge, so go Control 2 to select this one and move it up. Probably about like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll do that cut along there. And let's see here, we're going to use Control. There we go. And that'll go ahead and do those correctly. And this little bit here we're not going to worry about because we're going to be stacking these on top of each other. So I'm going to go ahead and tab out of that and then move it over to here. Make sure that we're in the top view there. Set that up so that it works nicely. And then we're going to go ahead and scale it. Okay. I think that's going to work. Let's go ahead and add a modifier. And we're going to set relative offset on both the Z to 1, the X to -1, and the Y to -1. Oops, no, we're going to set this one to 1. There we go. Okay, those are not going to work then. Let's go ahead and set these distances to 0.5 and -0.5 and -0.5. Oops, no, 0.5. Okay, and that gets them tiling nicely. We'll go ahead and do a constant offset as well on the Z. There we go. Okay, and I think that'll just about do it. I'm going to go ahead and we'll do a fixed count. There we go, so we can see how many we're going to need. And then we're going to go ahead and rotate some of these. So I'm going to go to the Control 3 viewpoint there. Good. And then I'm going to use the 6 key to toggle around so that I'm just about perpendicular. That's good. And I'm going to go to rotate these so that they fit. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and scale these. Very good. Do this just a bit more. There we go. Okay, and it looks like that's going to tile over everything pretty nicely there. We do have a couple of gaps, but I'm just inclined to leave those. The video has gone on here for a decent amount of time, and we don't want to run over too badly. I may end up going over and fixing these off camera, but I think I've drug on long enough. So there are two more sections. We've got a straight section and a corner section, or an edge and corner section for roofs. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. If you liked the video and if you made it to this point, go ahead and hit that like button. And yeah, if you have any more input on things that I could work on in a future video, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what you would like to see. Alright everyone, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Ta-ta.